Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, good morning.
On the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Yousef Abdibakar, 24-03141. Council appearance.
Yes, Your Honor, Melissa Vachon on behalf of Mr. Abdar, who appears separately from the Lansing City Jail.
Okay, sir, can you pronounce your last name for me? Sir, can you hear me? I think it's muted.
Yeah. D. Carter.
Okay, Abdi Carter. Okay, sir, today's the date set for arraignment, and I do have a felony complaint here. And the allegations allege that on or about September 1st, 2024, at the area of 6030 South Pennsylvania Ave, City of Lansing, Ingham County, State of Michigan, that you did allegedly commit the act in count one of armed robbery. The allegations are that you did, in the course of committing a larceny of liquor, assault or put in fear a person present, that person being a Shiv Sharon, and in the course of that conduct possessed a gun, a dangerous weapon, and or possessed an article used or fashioned in a manner that would cause a reasonable person to believe the article was a dangerous weapon, and or represented orally or otherwise that you possessed a dangerous weapon, contrary to MTL 750.529. This is a felony, and the maximum penalty is life or any term of years. Do you understand the charge and the maximum penalty charge there, sir?
Yes.
You have the right to be represented by an attorney, and Ms. Vachon is going to represent you today for your arraignment, but you do have the right to be represented by an attorney at each stage of the criminal prosecution, and you have the right to be represented by an attorney if you're questioned by law enforcement. If you can't afford to hire an attorney, you can make a request to have the public defender's office represent you at the expense of the public. Do you understand your right to counsel, sir?
Yes, sir.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say and anything that you put in writing can be used against you. You can plead guilty, plead not guilty, or stand mute. But if you stand mute, the matter will continue all the way to your jury trial. You have the right in this matter to have a preliminary examination because you're being charged with a felony. You have the right to have that exam within 21 days of today's date, unless you waive that timeline or the court finds good cause to go beyond the 21 days. At the time of your exam, you have the right to require the prosecution put forth evidence to establish that they have sufficient probable cause that the felony was committed and probable cause sufficient to charge you with the felony. Do you understand your right so far?
Yes.
You have the right to the presumption of innocence in this matter. So that means you're innocent until proven guilty. And you have the right to require that the prosecution prove your guilt by proving each element of the charge being brought against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to confront and cross-examine in court any of the accusers or witnesses that are called to testify against you. You can waive your right to silence at trial and testify on your own behalf. And you have the right to subpoena witnesses to your trial to testify for you. Do you understand those rights?
Thanks, Your Honor.
Is he requesting court-appointed counsel?
Yes, Your Honor.
The court's going to enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf. You also have the right to be considered for pretrial release from custody, and we'll address your bond in just a moment. Are you employed, sir?
No, Your Honor.
You said no?
No, Your Honor.
How do you support yourself?
I'm in this. It's like a business, but it's not really a business. It's a lawn care, and like it's called Mr. Help Service. So like that's what I do to make money.
You're not employed, but you're in a business and you do what?
Lawn care.
Do they pay you for that?
Yeah, I get paid $10 an hour.
Oh, what's your home address?
4701 Rainwright Avenue, Lansing, Michigan, 4911.
What's your phone number?
I currently don't have a phone because the police took my phone the last time I was here.
Do you have another matter pending?
I can give you guys my mom's number.
No, I just asked another question. Do you have another criminal matter that's pending?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so I don't know what you mean. The police took your phone the last time you were here.
Yeah, cause last time I was here, cause I still got a gun charge that's pending, and like when they're we're investigating this armed robbery.
Didn't I just ask you if you had another matter pending?
Oh yeah, yes you did. Oh, I'm sorry.
Currently scheduled for probable cause conference before Judge Stacia Buchanan, November 21st at 10 o'clock in the morning. You have a preliminary examination before Judge Buchanan in person at the court, November 27th at 9 o'clock. Did you get a notice to appear for those dates?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions at this time?
Uh,
Okay. Counsel, you can address bond.
Yes, Your Honor, I would ask that the court consider a personal recognizance bond or a low cash bond. Mr. Abdul is currently living in Lansing. He lives with his grandmother. He's 18 years old. He's doing the lawn care job. He also is looking for different jobs as well, and he's in the process of applying for other jobs. He has assured me that he will appear at all future court dates and follow any and all bond conditions. So I would ask the court consider a personal recognizance or a low cash bond.
Okay, this is a matter alleged to have involves a armed robbery with the use of a firearm. The defendant is currently out on bond on another matter for concealed weapons charge. A review of his criminal history shows some other charges. I don't see any conviction in one of them. One is for a burglary. And the other looks like it was for a CSC, but I don't see a disposition on that. I also have a bond recommendation from the prosecutor's office. They note that there is a concern for the protection of the public. The defendant is currently on parole, probation, or has a pending criminal charge in another matter, and that this is a crime charge involving the use or possession of a firearm, that they are requesting a 50,000 cash surety bond, that the defendant be ordered not to be present at any residence of Shiv Sharon, that the defendant be ordered not to be within 2,000 feet of 6030 South Pennsylvania Avenue in Lansing, Michigan, that the defendant be ordered not to physically assault Shiv Sharon, and that the defendant not use nor illicitly use any controlled substance or alcohol, and that the defendant not possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon, which if he's currently on bond, the majority of those things should already be set in place. The defendant's not currently employed. I directly asked him that question. He told me no. He never mentioned anything about applying for any jobs. Sounds like he's got a lot of free time on his hands. The court is going to deny a request for personal recognizance bond because it's not appropriate. He's already out on bond and having allegedly picked up this new charge. A bond will be set in the amount of 25,000 cash surety with a protective order in place for the protection of the alleged victim, Shiv Sharon. You're not to have contact directly or indirectly with the alleged victim. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're not to be within 1,500 feet of the area of 6030 South Pennsylvania Ave, City of Lansing, Ingham County, State of Michigan. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
While out on bond, you're not to travel outside the state without prior approval of the court. You're not to possess a firearm, ammunition, or weapon of any kind. You're not to use drugs or alcohol unless you have a valid prescription. You need to report to pretrial services within 48 hours of your release from custody. I am going to also order GPS tether. Do you have any questions about your bond conditions?
So basically, if I'm locked up until I pay the 25,000 plus the tether fee.
You have to post a bond to be released, and your bond is set at 25,000 cash surety. So if you have 25,000, you can post that, or you got to get a bond tonight.
All right.
Do you have any other questions?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know how like the bondsman stuff works. So
Yeah, that's not a question for the court. You should talk to the public defender's office about how you can get some assistance, or maybe call your family to contact the bondsman. They can give you a list of that information, maybe in the jail, but that's not a question for the court. Do you have any questions about your arraignment, meaning the charges and or the conditions of your release from custody?
no, Your Honor.
And you can also get information about how you can apply to have the fee for the GPS tether paid for if you are deemed to be indigent, okay?
What is deemed be?
Indigent means you can't, you're not able to afford it because of your financial status.
Okay.
You can apply to have it covered, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Any other matters, sir?
No, Your Honor.
You're all set.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, I think I have another file for him. He needs to come back. Okay, I didn't realize that you had another file here, sir. On the record in the matter, the people of the state of Michigan versus Yousef Abdar, 24-02546 FY. Counsel, can I have your appearance?
Yes, Your Honor, Melissa Bashan on behalf of Mr. Abdar, who appears separately from the from the Lansing jail.
Okay, sir, it looks like you also have a issue with appearing to court. This is the other matter that you were referencing, carrying concealed weapon. You were originally given a 5,000 personal recognizance bond on that matter when you were arraigned back in August. You also had a curfew, 11 to 6 a.m. unless at employment or traveling to or from employment. It looks like you were supposed to appear before Judge Flores on September 6th, and you failed to appear. There was a bench warrant that was issued, and then it looks like you were later rearranged on the bench warrant, and the matter was reset for October 25th. What happened?
I was in Jackson and I didn't have no way back to Lansing. And at the same time, I'm not gonna lie. Like I already knew I was getting locked up and like I was kind of
Okay.
I was kind of procrastinating my ride back to Lansing before court.
Okay. Okay, so, counsel, did you want to address bond on that?
Your Honor, we did discuss the importance of appearing at all court dates, and he has assured me that he will appear in the future for all court dates that are set.
Okay, we're gonna remand him for his preliminary examination, and he can have his attorney make a request for a bond once he sees Judge Flores. You're all set, sir. Okay, on the record in the matter, the people of the state of Michigan versus Tony Boyd, 24-03302, counsel appearance.
Your Honor, Melissa Bashan on behalf of Mr. Boyd, who appears separately from the Lansing jail.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello, you're Tony Boyd.
Yes, I am.
Okay, I do have a felony complaint here that you're going to be arraigned on, and the allegations are that on or about October 12th, 2024, at the area of 814 Louisa Street, City of Lansing, Ingham County, State of Michigan, that you allegedly committed the act in count 1 of domestic violence and or knowingly assaulting a pregnant individual, third offense notice. The allegations are that you did make an assault or assault and battery upon a Cassandra Renee Williams, an individual with whom you had a dating relationship, and that this was contrary to Michigan Compiled Law 750.812. There is a third offense notice here. It says, take notice that the defendant was previously convicted of assaulting or assaulting and battering his or her spouse, former spouse, an individual with whom he had a dating relationship, individual with whom he had a child in common, or a resident or former resident of his or her household, or by assaulting a pregnant person under MCL 750.812 on or about August 30th, 2016, and by violating MCL 750.813 on or about November 3rd, 2017, and therefore upon conviction will be subject to an enhanced sentence under MCL 750.815. Restitution may also result, as this offense may have resulted in damage to another individual's property or physical injury or death to another individual. So with the third offense notice, that enhances the domestic violence to a felony. Maximum penalty 5 years in prison and or $5,000 in fines, and a consecutive sentence may be imposed under the law if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. However, there is an habitual offender fourth offense notice here. It says, take notice that the defendant was previously convicted of 3 or more felonies or attempts to commit felonies, and that on or about July 21st, 2003, he was convicted of the offense of robbery second degree in violation of DE 11-0831-00A2-FEDE in the Superior Court for Newcastle County in the state of Delaware, and that on or about July 22nd, 2004, he was convicted of the offense of rape, fourth degree sexual intercourse victim less than 16 years old in violation of DE 11-0770-00A1 FCDE in the Superior Court for Newcastle County in the state of Delaware, and that on or about July 22nd, 2004, he was convicted of the offense again of rape, fourth degree sexual intercourse victim less than 16 years old in violation of DE 11-0770-00A1-F-CDE in the Superior Court of Newcastle County in the state of Delaware. Therefore, the defendant is subject to the penalties provided by MCL 769.12 that enhances the domestic violence to maximum penalty of life if the primary offense has a penalty of 5 years or more. The maximum penalty cannot be less than the maximum term for a first conviction. Do you understand the charge and the maximum penalty, which includes the third offense notice and the fourth offense habitual offender notice? Do you understand those?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. You have the right to be represented by counsel. Ms. Deshawn is representing you today for your arraignment. You have the right to counsel at all of your court appearances, and you have the right to be represented if you're questioned by law enforcement. If you can't afford to hire an attorney, you can make a request to have the public defender's office represent you at the expense of the public. You have the right to remain silent, sir. Anything that you say and anything you put in writing can be used against you. You have the right to plead guilty, plead not guilty, or stand mute. If you stand mute, the matter will continue all the way to your jury trial. You have the right to have a preliminary examination because you're being charged with a felony. And you have the right to have that examination within 21 days of today's date being the date that you were arraigned. That timeline is set unless you waive the 21 days or the court finds good cause to go beyond the 21 days. You're currently scheduled for probable cause conference before Judge Cynthia Ward, November 22nd, 2024 at 9 o'clock in the morning. You have a preliminary examination before Judge Ward in person, November 27th at 9 o'clock in the morning, and you should have received a notice to appear for those dates. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and you have the right at the time of your preliminary examination to require the prosecution put forth sufficient evidence that would establish probable cause. So they need to prove that they have probable cause that the felony was committed, and then probable cause sufficient to charge you as the person who committed the felony. You understand that, sir?
I understand, Your Honor.
You have the right to proceed to jury trial. You have the right to remain silent at jury trial and not have silence be used to prove or imply that you're guilty. You have the right to waive your silence and testify at your trial if you'd like. You have the right to see, hear, or question any of the witnesses that the prosecutor intends to call or testify against you. And you have the right to have witnesses subpoenaed to testify for you or present evidence that you believe that show a defense to this charge. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Is he requesting court-appointed counsel?
He is, Judge.
The court's entering a plea of not guilty on your behalf. What's your home address?
5711 Hilliard Road,
Spell that.
5711 Hilliard, Hillard Road, Lansing, Michigan, 48910.
What's your phone number?
517-721-9644.
Are you employed?
517. Ma'am?
Are you employed?
Yes, I am.
Where?
Popeye's Chicken on Saginaw Road. Popeye's Chicken on Saginaw Road.
Thank you.
You welcome.
Are you currently on probation or on parole?
No, ma'am, you are.
Do you have any other criminal matters pending at this time?
No, I don't. Just working the job.
You said what?
Just working a 9 to 5.
Oh. Counsel, you can address Brown.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Boyd has been living in Lansing for the past 14 years, currently working. He has a stable address and contact information. So I don't believe that he's a flight risk at all. But ask that the court consider a personal recognizance bond with conditions such as a GPS tether so that he can continue to work and pay his bills. Thank you.
Reviewed his criminal history. Counsel, you only addressed the concern of flight. You didn't actually address any concern about public safety, and those are factors the court must consider. His criminal history demonstrates a concern for the public safety. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 charges that were assaultive in nature. In addition to that, I see at least 1, 2, 3, 4 charges with a failure to comply with court orders, particularly as a sex offender, he's required to register, and he's been charged consistently with failure to do that. There's other charges that are noted here and convictions, even as recently as this year. It looks like he was on probation earlier this year, and that probation was revoked. So I think there's a concern about him following court orders. I think there's a concern about public safety, and I think there's a threat to the alleged victim in this matter. So because of that, personal recognizance bond is not appropriate. Bond will be set in the amount of 5,000 cash surety with GPS tether and victim notification. While out on bond, he'll have the following conditions: you're not to have contact directly or indirectly with Cassandra Renee Williams. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, Your Honor. I don't even know her.
Okay, very good. And that also means that there shouldn't be any issues with phone calls to whoever Cassandra Renee Williams are from the jail. You're not to possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. You're not to use, purchase, or possess alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription. Due to the nature of your prior criminal history, I am going to order not only GPS tether, but that you will participate in your analysis testing 2 times per month while out on bond. In addition to that, you're not to travel outside the state without prior approval of the court. You're not to use alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription. Do you have any questions about your bond conditions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
No, Your Honor.
You're all set, sir.
Do it, $5. Okay, it's $5. 5,000 cash sure. Either way. Means you can get bonds, because it's still 5,000 plus.
Okay, on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Robin Lewis III. Counsel appearance.
Yes, Your Honor, Melissa Bashan on behalf of Mr. Lewis while he appears separately from the Lansing jail.
Okay, Mr. Robin Lewis III.
Yes.
Okay, I have a felony complaint here. It alleges that on or about November 10th, 2024, at the area of 720 West Ottawa, apartment 302, City of Lansing, Ingham County, State of Michigan, that you allegedly committed the act in count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of assault with a dangerous weapon. Count 1 against Anaya Simmons. Count 2 against Caleb Benson. Count 3 against Isaiah Perry. And then count 4 against Caleb Benson again, and count 5 against Isaiah Perry. The allegations are that you did make an assault or assault and battery upon those individuals with a knife, but without intending to commit the crime of murder or to inflict great bodily harm less than the crime of murder. And that this was contrary to MCL 750.82. Count 1 through 5 are all felonies. Maximum penalty in each count 4 years in prison and or $2,000 in fines. Your DNA to be taken upon arrest, and a consecutive sentence may be imposed under the law if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. There is, however, an habitual offender fourth offense notice. It says take notice that the defendant was previously convicted of 3 or more felonies or attempts to commit felonies, and that on or about September 29th, 2015, he was convicted of the offense of prisoner possessing a weapon in violation of MCL 800-2834 in the 8th Circuit Court for Ionia County, State of Michigan, and that on or about February 28, 2006, he was convicted of the offense of prisoner weapons possession, again in violation of MCL 800-2834 in the 8th Circuit Court for Ionia County, State of Michigan, and that on or about May 22nd, 2003, he was convicted of the offense of criminal sexual conduct in the second degree in violation of MCL 750.520C1F in the 56th Circuit Court for Eaton County, State of Michigan, and therefore the defendant is subject to the penalties provided by MCL 769.12 that would enhance the maximum penalty in each count to life if the primary offense had a penalty of 5 years or more, or 15 years or less if the primary offense has a penalty under 5 years. The maximum penalty cannot be less than the maximum term for each count. Do you understand the charges and the maximum penalty, which includes the habitual offender fourth offense notice, sir?
Yeah.
You have the right to be represented by counsel. Ms. Bashan's representing you for your arraignment only today, but you have the right to be represented by an attorney at every stage of the criminal prosecution, and you have the right to be represented by an attorney if you're questioned by law enforcement. If you can't afford to hire an attorney, you can make a request to have the public defender's office represent you at the expense of the public. Do you understand your right to counsel?
Yeah.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say and anything you put in writing can be used against you. You have the right to plead guilty, plead not guilty, or stand mute. If you stand mute, the matter will continue all the way to jury trial. You have the right to have a preliminary examination because you're being charged with felonies. At the time of the preliminary examination, you have the right to require the prosecution establish sufficient probable cause that the felonies were committed and probable cause sufficient to charge you with these felonies. You have the right to have that exam within 21 days of today's date unless you waive that timeline or the court finds good cause to go beyond the 21 days. You understand your right so far?
Yes.
And you have the right at the time of your trial to remain silent and not have silence be used to prove or imply that you're guilty. You have the right to see, hear, or question any other witnesses that the prosecution intends to call against you. You have the right to subpoena witnesses to testify for you at your trial or present evidence at trial that you believe show a defense to the charge being brought against you. You also have the right to waive your silence at trial and testify on your own behalf if you like. You understand those rights?
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Is he requesting court-appointed counsel?
Yes, Your Honor.
The court's gonna enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf. Are you employed?
No, not at the moment. I'm waiting on the charter house. I did an interview at the charter house to drive for them through mental health. So I'm waiting on them. And actually, I don't have a phone right now. So I was hoping that I could go down there and check since they might be open today or I just found out today was a holiday, so I didn't even know. Yeah, but I went to an interview, I believe it was Wednesday morning at the charter house. So I don't have a phone, so I've been doing it just like that. But my sister's number,
You say you have your sister's number?
yeah, I have my sister's number. My sister's number is in Cleveland, but I have a ton of family up here. I just don't know their number by heart. I have a cousin in Georgetown, 1945.
We don't need their number. We needed your number, sir.
Okay, so yeah, I have a number to give you.
You have a phone?
Excuse me?
You have a phone or no?
No, I won't have one till the 21st.
Okay. What's your address?
607 East Michigan Avenue.
You're currently scheduled for probable cause conference before Judge Cynthia Ward, November 22nd at 9 o'clock in the morning. You have a preliminary examination before Judge Ward. It's scheduled in person at the court, November 27th at 9 o'clock. Did you get your notice to appear for Judge Ward?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Do you have any questions at this time?
No,
Are you currently on probation or on parole?
no,
Do you have any other criminal matters pending?
no.
Okay, I was not provided his criminal history, so I don't have that. Counsel, you can address bond.
Yes, Your Honor. I would request the court consider personal recognizance bond for Mr. Lewis. He is presumed to be innocent. As he stated, he is in the process of obtaining employment. He does not currently have a phone, but he informed me he will in a couple of weeks here. He provided a stable address and contact information for his sister, so that our office will be able to get in touch with him. For those reasons, I'd request a personal bond.
Okay, I have 5 counts here of assault with a dangerous weapon, and my understanding from the affidavit of probable cause is there were injuries sustained by more than one of the alleged victims. And without having his prior criminal history, the only information that I have about his prior criminal history includes what's noted in the habitual offender fourth offense notice, which 2 of those that are noticed also involve a weapon. So the court is concerned about public safety. Personal recognizance bond is going to be denied. Bond is set in the amount of 2,500 cash surety with GPS tether.
I don't have 2,000.
I didn't ask you any questions, sir.
Oh, sorry.
While out on bond, you have the following conditions. You're not to engage in any assaultive or threatening behavior. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. You're not to have contact directly or indirectly with the following individuals. That's an Anaya Simmons, Caleb Benson, Isaiah Perry. Do you understand that?
I understand.
You're not to be within 1,500 feet of wherever they live, work, or go to school. You're not to be within 1,500 feet of the address of 720 West Ottawa. You're not to travel outside the state without prior approval of the court. You're not to use drugs or alcohol unless you have a valid prescription. You're not to possess a firearm, ammunition, or any other dangerous weapon. You understand that? You
Yeah.
understand that? Okay.
Yes.
You need to report to pretrial services within 48 hours of your release from custody. Do you have any questions about your bond conditions?
No.
Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
No, Your Honor.
You're all set, sir. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.